Hey guys, Mr. B here again. Hopefully my camera is going to focus. This is the first video of a measurement series that I'm working on, and I'm going to take you through in this series, take you through some topics like surface area, conversion factors, things like that. And I teach this unit in grade 10, and I thought I might just do a video series for it for some of my students. So the first topic I'm going to talk about is what is a referent. So a reference is kind of a new idea to me actually, but it's kind of a common sense idea. A referent is anything that's sort of personal, so I'll say it's personal, that we can use to get an approximate measurement. So in my courses we focus on some imperial units, such as an inch, a foot, a yard, and a mile. So I try to get my students to do a little activity where they sort of develop some idea of how long each one of these units is, because it is kind of an important thing to have some kind of idea of distance. And if any of you guys play golf, you'll know how important that is to know how far you are from the hole and which club to choose and things like that. So that idea of a personal referent is a big thing. And I know when I was a kid and we were growing up playing baseball, we would always try to count out 60 feet to figure out where we were going to place home plate and first base and things like that, and sort of have like a general idea of how far things were apart. So my students sort of develop these things, so I'm just going to give you a few ideas of what they come up with for their personal reference, and then that way you can apply them in your math classes if you have an assessment or something like that. So generally what my students come up with for an inch is about the width of their thumb. Now so when I talk about the width of their thumb, I'm talking about like this. Now my fingers are tiny, but depending on who you are, that might be pretty accurate. My thumb is just about an inch. Now for your foot, or for a foot, so a foot being 12 inches, my foot actually happens to be exactly 12 inches. So depending on your foot or your height or whatever, this might be a good reference for you. Now yard's a bit tougher. So what I say for a yard is, and I usually tell my students this is for the average human. Now I'm not a very big man, but for the average human is about half an arm span. So if you stuck your arm right out, I'll draw a little stick man. If you stuck your arm straight out like this, it would be from the middle of your chest all the way to the tip of your arm, and that would be about almost a full yard. Now a mile is a bit tougher, obviously. You're not going to be able to measure that on your body, but what I usually say is about how long I can walk in about 15 minutes. When I'm walking for 15 minutes, maybe I'll stretch that to 20. If I'm walking for 20 minutes, I walked about a mile, so pretty close to a mile. Now that depends. I remember I broke down on my ATV, and I had to walk out 17 kilometers, and it took me a very long time because my feet were really sore. But that's an idea of some personal reference. So 20 minutes of walking. Now on the other side of the scale, these are imperial reference. So if we have a few what you might call metric reference. Now I'm just going to go centimeters, meters, and kilometers. So a centimeter is smaller than an inch, so it's not going to be quite your thumb. I would probably use my pinky finger for a centimeter. So your smallest finger, or maybe if you have a really big finger, maybe it's just the width of your fingernail. So your pinky finger. Now a meter and a yard are very close together. So I think, well, a yard is what, 36 inches. So I mean, that's 3 feet. So you get a good idea there of, it's pretty close to a meter. So I would probably use the same measurement, an arm span. I also use the measurement for a yard, and I never thought of this one, it just came to my head, would be the height of a doorknob. If you look at most doorknobs, now that's only useful if you have a doorknob around, of course. The height of a doorknob, it's generally about a meter high. Now a kilometer is slightly less than a mile, so I might use 15 minutes of walking for this one. And again, that depends on your pace and things like that. Now the other one I just thought of for yard, you might be able to say one big step. So if you took a really big step, and a lot of people do this sometimes, they're trying to pace out something, they might take a bunch of big steps and just get a kind of a general estimate on how many yards or even a meter, the width of something. So guys, hopefully you took from this is the idea of how you would find a personal referent. It's kind of a weird idea, and it's one of those things, you just kind of need to know it. It's in the course, it's one of those things, but it's a really simple concept. So a personal reference is just something that you can use to estimate a measurement. Doesn't have to be necessarily on your body. It could be anything, a calculator, a pencil, things like that. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in class. Like, share, subscribe, and thanks for watching.